Lisa is not an actress. I am not an actor. This is all genuine. We are a real weight loss center. That's something my mentor Dave told me to say. He was like, make sure everybody knows you guys aren't actors.
So, I have a little bit of a confession. So on weigh-in days, I don't get on the scale every day because it will upset me, right? Like obviously I don't think that's a good idea. But on weigh-in days, I always get on because, you know, that true measurement, not true, but the measurement for me is, you know, early in the morning, before I've had coffee, water, all this stuff. So then when I get here, I'm dressed and it's always a couple pounds more. So tell me what you got.
Yeah, so we weighed in 17 days ago. On March 23rd, 2019,
okay,
you had 43.1% body fat. Now you're at 42.4% body fat, about 17 or so days later. Losing body fat is hard, Lisa. People usually lose like 0.1 a week, if that.
Okay.
I'll take 0.1 a week %. So
okay.
It's appropriate, especially for the stage you're at in your weight loss. You've already lost 40 pounds.
I'm just opening my calculator here. I'm a nerdy accountant who needs a calculator to, if I don't have a laptop or a device to do math, don't tell my clients.
But in terms of weight, you've also done really well.
Yeah,
You're nearly down 10 pounds.
Wow.
You're at
2 days.
243.8, and now you're at 235.7. So get your calculator out.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of what I expected, right? So when, again, I'm here clothed, I drank a bunch of water. It takes me about an hour to get here from my home. So that is a total loss since day one. We're at 110 days today.
Yeah.
So that's a loss of 45.3, again, clothed. And that's what I expected, even though, you know, when you're naked and afraid in the morning when no one's looking, it's a little bit more than that. So I think what's going to happen, I'm getting super excited about this because we're getting really close to 50.
Yeah.
And I just, if you let me share real quick. So I started on December 19th. So we tease about this. I refuse to call it a New Year's resolution because technically we were mid-December. And we set a goal that day with Dr. K of 60 pounds. And that's when you started to educate me on lean body mass versus fat versus hydration ratios and things like that. So on that day, we set this goal, and I'm always preaching about SMART goals. It's just part of how my analytical mind works. So 60 pounds with a 6-month goal would be the end of June. My birthday is the end of June, and we were shooting for 60. And at this pace, we're actually on track to get there earlier.
Yeah. You worry about the time. That's on you.
Whatever the finish line is, right? So, you know, and I love, you know, when I'm always, you know, kind of yammering on about SMART goals is there's a time element that comes with that T, you know, and it can be time bound, timeliness, whatever you want to call it. And it just helps me keep it all in perspective. So at the pace I'm going, it's going to be very quickly that we're celebrating the big 5-0. Woo-hoo.
I mean, you've inspired other people to compete.
Yeah.
It's good. You're at 41.5. Now you're at 42% hydration. And then tell me about movement too, because.
You know what? Since we filmed, so it's been since we did our first installment of Losing with Lisa that we put on YouTube. That was about 20 pounds ago, and I was telling Aamna, what do we call you? Are you a videographer, photographer? You're like,
she's the content curator of Mindful Living.
She's just amazing. A shout out. She's behind the camera, but we're gonna have to get a photo of her before this is over. She asked me today, how did you feel about that video? And I'll tell you, as I've told you many times, it was really hard to watch. No regrets. It's the best thing I think I could do for myself. But sometimes, you know, what we see in the mirror is different than you seeing yourself on film or seeing, just seeing yourself, whether it's a still photo, a video, voice. You know, I looked and sounded different than I felt I looked and sounded, if that makes sense. So that was good 20 pounds ago. So this one, I'm actually really excited to see how this turns out, because now I'm anxious to see, you know, you always have to compare. In my profession, you know, I'm a finance executive, and in my profession, when you're comparing results, no matter what they are. Financial results, weight results, water results, I don't care what they are. They're meaningless unless they're compared against something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it has to be a control.
Yeah, it has to be a control. So this is going to be a really good control. So back in the fall, I had started a new job. And I wanted to get some new clothes. I had a lot of beautiful suits. I'm an executive. But oh my God, they were skin tight, all of them. So my sister Bridget and I go shopping because I needed some new pants. I thought, let me just get some basic bottoms and I can still make my jackets work. So this is what 110 days looks like when you're getting close to the 50-pound mark. Okay, so these pants are size 22. I was wearing these pants. I bought several pairs exactly the same, and on my first office visit here with Dr. K, I was wearing these pants and they were still skin tight. So they're 20, busting out. Thank God I had a long suit jacket to hide the sin, right? So, so today, 110 days later, I'm segueing now to size 16.
Wow.
So we are getting, 3-4 sizes down. In fact, when I would weigh in, I wore the exact same clothes every week to weigh in, and I was wearing a pair of black yoga pants every week, which are now way too big, so I had to switch to these lovely, colorful yogas.
So we're gonna have to start a new segment, shopping with Lisa.
Yeah, and it's really fun because I get to wear all these cool things. And with that, to answer your question, this is a very long-winded answer, but we were talking about movement, and that's been the biggest change since we did the first shoot. Following your recommendation of 150 minutes of movement a week. So for me, with that, I mean, that's a lot for me. And what I've been doing is kind of following the guidance not to do any muscle breaking exercises right now. So a treadmill is working wonders for me. And I challenge myself every few days. I get a little bit more confident. And I'm just in there on the treadmill, and I'm setting the incline up a little bit to give myself a little bit more of an intense workout. So, and I've gotten my speed up to about 3.5 miles.
Hey, can I interfere real quick?
Yeah.
Not only did she have the courage to sign up for a 5K that's happening on Saturday, but she has inspired me and 4 other weight loss patients to go for the 5K. So that doesn't come from doing a little bit here and there. That comes from real discipline and a real work ethic and real commitment. So I want everybody to know.
Just being committed to it, yeah. And I'm super excited, and I'm just gonna ping our own efforts. We, for those of you that are interested in this journey and want new friends and support and motivation, we have started a Facebook page called Losing with Lisa. This video will stream on YouTube, and we're having a really good time inspiring each other. And we have some friends. There's a couple of guys in our group that are pretty athletic. They're a true inspiration. But where that support comes from, these guys are far beyond walking. And I mean, these guys run a marathon. They don't walk a 5K, but they're so supportive that we're all going together. And I'm gonna walk my first 5K.
My first 5K too.
Yeah. And I honestly just want to get a whole bunch of photos. I'm gonna wear a sassy pigtails that day. And I'm just like, I just want to finish that walk. Yeah. I don't care if I'm the last one.
We're the last one.
Because we're all I want to do is finish. So I'm not trying to be a superhero. I'm perfectly happy challenging myself on the treadmill because that's where I'm at today. A few months from now, who knows? But I try to take one day at a time and measure everything I'm doing. Food, water, exercise. And it's kind of a rush, to be able to write in your journal that you just burned 400 extra calories that day by taking a really rigorous walk. So that's really cool.
And so how are you, you seem really motivated, and I know there might be one person watching at home that could really benefit off of you explaining how you keep yourself motivated, to this extent, because you have a pretty high operating job, and you have, you come from a far away. I told Matt this morning that you have family, and one of your places is in Virginia Beach.
Yes.
And he was like, what? He dropped his bag. So he was like, she comes from all that way. I was like, not every time, she works elsewhere. But he got so happy. He's like, oh, now I have a friend in Virginia Beach to visit.
Exactly. I have 2 homes, one in Virginia, one in Maryland. My career has kept me traveling amongst this mid-Atlantic region for a very long time. And Yeah, and this, my home here in Baltimore is a good hour from this facility, and I don't care if it was 3 hours, I would still drive it, because the support and the knowledge and the training I have gotten has been incredible. And that is a way that I keep myself motivated. So a couple things. First of all, I'm a real person. I don't get motivated. I just like everybody else, I have my moments. I had an epic pity party for myself a couple weeks ago, just a really bad day, you know, and I didn't respond to it by overeating or overindulging, but my mood that day, I just felt sorry for myself, you know, just like a whiny little girl. And it took me about 24 hours just to snap out of it. But most days, I feel exactly what you see today. Most days I get up, thanks to Vic and the team here, they've allowed me to participate in this by blogging and being a featured blogger on their website. And the research that comes with that is very motivating and inspiring for me, you know, so that keeps me going. I get up every day and I go onto the Losing with Lisa page and I search for a motivational quote that really resonates with those of us that are on a weight loss journey, and that keeps me motivated. The most profound thing that came out of last night's session, we met here in Clarksburg last night, and there was a gentleman in the group that said, you know, when I first came on, I really didn't think I would see a benefit. I don't know if you remember that remark.
Of the support business.
Yeah, he didn't think I would really see a benefit, and he was just very candid with us. He said, but now I see it totally differently. So when you have this network of people, whether it's in a small in-person group like we have here in Clarksburg, or our Facebook group, or just getting to know each other and supporting in every single way, that's how I stay motivated. When I pull those pans, and one of the huge rush for me, talk about a non-scale victory, cleaning out your closet and putting all of the clothes in a tub for charity that are 3 sizes too big. And just before I left today, the last thing I said, let me just go grab those pants, those 22s, you know, so that I could ship that to me. That'll keep me motivated.
So progress.
Yeah, and it's not always on the scale. My God, we give that thing way too much power. I can't wear my rings right now because they're too big and they fell off in the shower. That's a victory. The bracelets that I'm wearing slide off my wrist. I probably need to take them off. Look, it's like I don't even have to clasp the bracelet. You know, I'm gonna have to get a smaller bracelet. That's a victory. And sometimes when you share a story, and if you can reach out and touch one other person who struggles with the same thing that you have for years, and then all of a sudden you find what works for you. And I guess that's always going to be my message to anybody. I'm following the program here because that's what works for me. But I also recognize, and I know you share this sentiment, Vic, is it might not work for someone else. So, and that's totally okay, you know, so whatever works for you.
Not everybody has the time or money or resources to get with a weight loss program like the Mindful Living Institute. So we want to show you guys how you can do this at home, how you can lose weight by yourself. So Lisa's going to give you a tip in each vlog.
Thanks for joining us for this whole recording. Today we're going to talk about something very basic, and it's simply a cup of coffee. I love coffee. Particularly I love flavored coffee. So one of the things that I discovered at the onset of my program is I had to change the way I drank my coffee to eliminate just unnecessary fats and sugars and hidden additives and things like that. So what I came up with, I use a Keurig machine at home, and I've got all my flavored K-Cups. It's a raspberry chocolate lava. Now, that just happens to be what I love. I get that there's a lot of different tastes and preferences for coffee. The point is, what we're going to show you today is an alternative to adding a lot of cream and sugar. I tend to like a sweeter coffee with the flavors. And here's a couple of different options that I'm going to show you. So this is a product that you can buy on most supermarket shelves. This is an Atkins Milk Chocolate Delight Protein Shake. This has 15 grams of protein in it. But so there's a lot of really good stuff going on in here in terms of different macronutrient levels. So what I like to do, I store mine at room temperature. And I'm going to, I'm not sure how many ounces. This has 11 fluid ounces in this container, so I'm certainly not going to use all of that, but I'm going to use about half. So what I do at home is I pour about half of this in. I'm not a big breakfast person, so what I'm doing here is killing a couple of birds. I'm getting an important dose of protein in the morning, and it's also going to hold my appetite because I personally, physically don't like to eat a lot in the morning. So this is a way to keep myself full, have a burst of energy, and get those important nutrients that we need to sustain a healthy style. You don't have to use a Keurig, of course. You can mix coffee however you want. But I, generally 5.5, 6 ounces is enough. I took 1/2 of this container. Coming up within a week's time, okay, I'm gonna be at 50, and I thought about rewarding myself with a new Fitbit. We have all these mini competitions within the group that are playful and supportive. We taunt each other in a way that is healthy, and healthy and motivational. And we have a little sidebar going on who gets the most water. And we have, and then Daryl started off with moving with Lisa. And that's where I said in there today, I said, I think when I hit 50, which is like a week away, I might treat myself to a new Fitbit so that I can measure those results.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Because I'm a huge advocate for education. I teach, I give business lectures within my profession all the time. And there is a science and a psychology to this type of positive reinforcement. In fact, maybe at some point we can dedicate a whole session to it. We're talking about writing that journal, checking off a list. So many of us, some of us do on paper, some of us like these on apps. I don't care, because remember 5 + 5 and 7 + 3. I don't care the method. I just like the rush, So now I'm looking forward to the calendar filling up with these ridiculous stickers,
That's amazing.
And I'm going to put a picture of them on the blog or because it makes me feel good. And if I feel good, I'm going to have a better shot at getting through today.